Going to see an anime movie in a movie theater is always an experience, no matter what you're gonna watch. It's just that this time, it was special. Hi guys, I'm Bayfund, and I went and saw the theatrical release of the 4th Evangelion movie. And I'm amazed by how much I actually enjoyed this movie. I waited a year and some months to view this in theaters because I was told that it deserved the full-on, vibe, the experience. And to be honest, yeah, it does. This is probably also aided by the fact that I saw this in IMAX, so of course it was gonna look beautiful. But before we get into the actual details of what I thought about the movie, let's do a little recap about the previous ones. 1.0. Well, this one's actually really slow. I was kind of bored throughout it. I mean, it's just a recap. There's nothing else I could have wanted out of it. 2.0. I enjoyed this movie a lot more than the first one, but at the end I was left completely confused and I didn't really understand what the movie was trying to say. 3.0. Felt like a bit of a mess, but it's still pushing the story forward, I guess. And now we're here. 3.0 plus 1.0, 4. It's really hard to try and describe a movie in a few words, but you can actually describe this entire movie with one, and that's with closure. Because that's what this entire movie feels like. To be able to wrap up such a mindfuck of a story that is the Evangelion franchise is, quite the task. The first half of this movie is what I consider to be pretty much a masterpiece. Picking up right after the events of 3.0, we're brought into this whole new world, something that we've never seen in Evangelion before. Pretty much how Evangelion is a series that thrives on despair and those negative emotions, this actually brings feelings of hope for the first time, I think, in this entire franchise. Shinji, Asuka, and Rei coming into this village for some people might feel like downtime, but for me, this is the whole meat of the story. This is where the emotional crux of everything lies. All of the rhetoric and symbolism that this little village represents just struck a chord with me. I think that for the kind of person that's had problems waking up some days, or just overall has dealt with depression in the past, this is kind of the story telling you that they understand you and that they know that that's hard, but that they want you to keep trying. I would say even though the later half of the story has a bunch of emotional beats that should be able to get you, this first half just captivated me to levels that I did not expect from Evangelion. And with this, I actually have a confession. I am not a diehard fan of Evangelion. Hell, it's kind of hard for me to say that I'm a fan, period. I've only seen the original series one time through, so I'm in a desperate need for a rewatch right now. I thought that it was way too pessimistic sometimes, and I don't know, it didn't really hit as hard as I expected it to. I feel like what everyone got from the original series and the original set of movies is what I probably got during this one. And I can just honestly say that this was a brilliant piece of art that Hideaki Anno made. I had no idea what compels Hideaki Anno to mix religion, philosophies, and science together into making a masterpiece, but he's been able to do it. I would say in terms of how the story progresses, after they leave that village, there is certainly some downtime, but it picks back up again at the ending. For me, the best parts of Evangelion aren't the fight sequences. It's the dialogue the characters have between each other about what they value as people. And that's not me saying that you can ignore the fight sequences, because goddamn, these are some fucking beautiful fight sequences. Almost every single time that a big fucking gun came on screen, hairs on the back of my neck were standing up. The fact that this production took almost a decade to complete really makes sense when you're looking at the visuals as a whole. Yeah, there are some CGI 3D elements that some people might not like, but they're just a stylistic choice. It doesn't draw any negatives to the movie itself. And the way that all of our characters' stories wrapped up in such a satisfying way, yeah, you can tell that that definitely would have taken a lot of time to come up with. And by satisfying, I mean I'd be okay if I never saw anything about Evangelion ever again. It neatly, in the most precise ways, closes the box and puts a little bow on top. Almost like it's saying that there's pretty much nothing else to be said about the story. And I'm fine with that. This movie does some pretty great things as well with our characters. It doesn't rewrite them or make them any different than how they were before, but it just exemplifies what makes them work so well. For instance, they made Rei best girl, undeniably this time. I can say that confidently, without any regrets for the future. And they give some well-deserved backstories to some of the characters that have been mysteries for years, just furthering all of the depth and complexities that these characters had. Some other elements that I think I cannot mention are gonna be in the music. Every single musical piece in this movie feels handpicked. From when it comes to the classical music, to the Japanese folk rock, and then, one of the catchiest anime songs of the year. They're able to match up the exact emotions we're seeing on screen with the music perfectly. And it leads to moments that you're probably not gonna forget for a while. I would say that I'm glad that I actually bided my time and waited for this movie to come out in theaters. And if you have the opportunity to present it to go and see this, do it. Even if you've seen the movie a couple times before, it's gonna feel like a completely different experience when you're watching it on the silver screen. This is Evangelion at its undeniable best. With that, I was Bayfund, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.